Most people think they're good, decent, moral, in control. But Carl Jung believed that beneath your carefully constructed identity, there is a dark, hidden force. A force you've spent your entire life trying to ignore. He called it the shadow. The shadow is everything you refuse to see in yourself. Every violent thought you suppress, every socially unacceptable impulse, every cruel, jealous, arrogant, or hateful urge you've buried so deep you barely remember it exists. But it does exist. Jung said the shadow isn't just a part of us, it's half of us. And the terrifying truth is that the more you deny it, the stronger it becomes. Most people think being a good person means avoiding evil. Jung believed that being truly good requires confronting it inside yourself. When you're a child, you learn which parts of you are bad. You're punished for being angry, mocked for being vulnerable, rejected when you're different. And so, to survive, you hide those parts. You create a mask, what Jung called the persona. Your persona becomes your social self, the face you show the world. But behind that mask, the shadow grows. It holds everything you couldn't be, everything you weren't allowed to be. It becomes a living, breathing thing, a monster of all your repressed potential and all your darkest impulses. And here's where it gets dangerous, because what you don't see, you can't control. The shadow leaks out in ways you don't notice. In your sarcasm, your passive aggression, your addiction to control. The way you lash out, or collapse inward, or sabotage your own success. The shadow isn't just a personal problem, it's collective. Entire societies have shadows. Nation, religions, ideologies, they all repress what they can't tolerate. And when a society refuses to look at its own darkness, it projects it onto others. That's how you get scapegoating, persecution, genocide. The 20th century is soaked in shadow. Jung saw this. He lived through 2 world wars. He watched a civilized Europe lose its mind. He saw a continent full of rational people descend into tribalism, brutality, and madness. And he realized something. The more we identify with our goodness, the more we become blind to our evil. You don't overcome the shadow by pretending it doesn't exist. You overcome it by integrating it, by dragging it into the light, by owning it. This is what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming a whole human being. Not just a persona, not just the mask, but the full spectrum of who you are. To do that, you must descend into your dreams, your fears, your instincts. You must face the parts of yourself you have never dared to look at. That's why Jung didn't trust people who claimed to be pure. He said, if you imagine someone who is brave enough to withdraw all projections, then you get an individual who is conscious of a pretty thick shadow. In other words, if you don't think you have a dark side, you're probably possessed by it. Jung believed that real morality doesn't come from virtue signaling or blind obedience. It comes from wrestling with your inner demons and choosing to act with awareness. Consciousness, not conformity, is what makes you human. But beware, integrating the shadow doesn't mean indulging it. It doesn't mean becoming violent or cruel. It means recognizing that those possibilities exist within you and then choosing not to act them out. Power without awareness is dangerous. Awareness without power is weak. Integration gives you both. The shadow also contains more than darkness. It contains your unlived life, your repressed talents, your passion, your power, your authenticity, or the parts of you you exiled just to fit in. When you reclaim the shadow, you become more alive, more creative, more whole. But it's terrifying, because to meet the shadow, you have to admit you are not who you think you are. You have to let go of your image. You have to risk being seen, not just for your light, but for your darkness too. Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." That's the work. That's the path. Not to escape the shadow, but to walk with it, to own it, to become whole. Because until you do, it will rule you, and you'll call it fate. So ask yourself, what are you pretending not to know about yourself? What part of you have you locked away? What would happen if you opened the door? The monster isn't outside you. It's been inside you all along, and the only way to stop it is to set it free.